How's it going, everyone? This is Max from CryptoPotato.com. Let's get into this week's market update. The massive drop in crypto prices continues. We are currently in the midst of the second largest correction of all time and the strongest since 2012. For veterans in crypto, the correction is reminiscent of the downward correction at the end of 2013, when Bitcoin reached an all-time high, then around $1,200. Yet was followed by a painful and continuous correction to the $200 area where it stopped for long accumulation. Today, the rules have changed. The number of crypto exchanges have increased, trading volumes have doubled, and there's much more diversification. In 2014, one major exchange, Mt. Gox, which controlled the majority of the trading volume at that time, was hacked and disappeared one day. The effect was almost devastating. Many investors lost all their money, and even worse, they lost faith in the future of Bitcoin. Of course, even if today one of the exchanges suddenly disappears, the market will get affected, but it won't be as painful as before. Interestingly enough, gold prices rose on the days of when Bitcoin's price went down. Is Bitcoin taking the role of gold? I don't know. 2018 began a little lame, let's not lie, and the winter has just begun. Even in days such as declines in crypto, you can always make a profit. The shorts on Bitcoin have been very rewarding since the 20,000 levels. Daily trading due to recent volatility is really hard to profit from. Keep in mind that it's important not to involve emotion in trading, especially when dealing with panic in a bear market like the one we have. In the short term, the price gets supported at the $10,000 area, which may change overnight. As you can see right now, we're just about at $11,000. Although, let's look on the bright side. The commissions have decreased to 30 to 50 Satoshi. Kind of nice. Compared to the dollar, almost all of the altcoins are going down, similar to the months of the meteoric rise of Bitcoin, where the altcoins went up dollar-wise. Coins such as VN and CND were featured the past week on Binance Exchange. This exchange, although really young among the crypto markets, has already managed to grow in terms of volume and impact on the entire market. Against the dollar, the whole market suffered last week. Yesterday, we saw a light recovery, which brings some optimism for what's to come. The cycle of the market continues, and prices are similar prices in the past, whether it's in the increase of the altcoins against the Bitcoin at the beginning of each of the recent years, or whether it's the correction in Bitcoin every January, which has also occurred every year in the past few years. The Bitcoin dominance level is still at 34% over the crypto market. The daily trading volume still stands at tens of billions of US dollars, and the size of the crypto market is still over 500 billion. Still, this is a huge year-to-year growth. In the ICO sector, we saw a significant growth after the disappointing months at the end of 2017. By the beginning of 2018, lots of ICOs have already raised 100% of their funds and reached their hard cap. Now is the time to wait and see the usability of the technologies that the new ICOs bring. Today, most of the crypto trading is yet very speculative and mainly reflects future potential. Let's move to world news, starting in Asia. Japan's largest bank and the fourth largest bank in the world, the Mitsubishi UFG Financial Group, announced its plan this week to offer conversion services between fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies, and even plans to launch its own crypto coin, the MUFG coin. In South Korea, in response to the laws of the country, the Anguk law offices filed a petition with the Constitutional Court in the state on the grounds that there is no legal basis for the regulation of crypto in South Korea. The petition accumulated more than 200,000 signatures in less than a month, and another petition that was written in the wake of even tougher regulation since the beginning of the month has gained more than 215,000 signatures this week. In addition, the South Korean authorities announced that the Real System, which will not allow the use of anonymous accounts in the exchange, will be integrated into the 6 largest banks in the country next month. Now, transactions such as trading, withdrawing, or placing money in the country's crypto exchange will only be available for accounts opened by one of the banks through the new system. One South Korean chairman from the Financial Authority, the Financial Supervision Commission, said that some of the members of the Financial Authority were trading in cryptocurrencies, and some of them may have sold a portion of their coins before the government announced its tougher regulation. He stated that it is not appropriate for civil servants to hold crypto coins, even though there's currently no legal prohibition on it. Moving on to China, an anonymous reports indicate that the government intends to block access to domestic and foreign trading exchanges for its residents. Additionally, the e-commerce company Alibaba launched a platform for the mining of crypto, P2P nodes. Let's move to Indonesia next. The country's central bank has issued a statement that any use of crypto in the country is prohibited. In other words, crypto coins are considered a legal means of payment in the country. Furthermore, the central bank, in cooperation with the local police, began an investigation to uncover more information about citizens involved in such transactions, especially in Bali. In India, 4 of the country's largest banks froze the accounts of the country's major trading exchanges due to the fear of suspicious transactions. This step comes without any prior warning. Next, let's move to the Middle East. Dubai. One of the largest banks in Dubai, the Emirates NBD Bank, joined a series of other banks this week by not allowing customers to buy or purchase items with cryptocurrencies. The bank made this decision independently, meaning it did not stem from instructions from central bank or the regulator, and it took effect suddenly without the bank updating its customers in advance. This is similar to the steps that were just taken by the banks in India. The decision of the bank is expected to have an effect on the local crypto exchange BitOasis. In Israel, the tax authority published a draft explaining taxation aspects of ICO issues. Among other things, it appears that the company's profits from the sale of tokens will be classified as the company's income, except in certain cases where the product or service will be provided at a future date. The draft also regulates taxes on token holders. Next, let's talk about the banking sector. Mike Bell, a senior JP Morgan executive, said in a detailed statement that he forewarned that governments would eventually ban trading in Bitcoin. This statement, not coincidentally, comes after the tightening of regulation in China and in South Korea, what I just mentioned. Next, the bank, Stanley Morgan, announced that it would allow its customers to trade futures contracts on the CBOE and CM stock exchanges. This statement follows a nearly identical statement by Goldman Sachs just from a few weeks ago. Next, ECB President Mario Draghi is expected to release a video on February 12th explaining the bank's stance on crypto and blockchain and the possibility that cryptocurrencies may replace fiat currencies. The bank also plans to allow young Europeans aged 16 to 35 to send questions on the subject, which Draghi will answer in the video. Let's move to some quick headlines. First, Visa's CEO, Alfred Kelly, announced in an interview this week that the company would not allow the processing of crypto transactions. Next, the Spanish real estate company, Mr. Piso, sold the country's first property in exchange for Bitcoin. Very cool. Up next, Peter Bolkevog, Chief Investment Officer at the Bleakley Advisory Group, predicts that Bitcoin may reach a price of 1,000 to 3,000 over the next year, when the bubble explodes. He said the fall of Bitcoin would not affect the stock market too much because it's a market with a value of over $19 trillion. But he said the collapse of the crypto market would completely change investors' approach to risk management. On the other hand, a senior analyst from RBC Capital in an interview with CNBC predicts that the crypto market will reach a value of $10 trillion. Finally, the philosopher and mathematician who wrote Black Swan, Nassim Taleb, published a post in which he expressed his positive opinion on the concept behind Bitcoin. Among other things, he explained why Bitcoin is different from gold and the importance of money being controlled by the masses or by the users. He said that although Bitcoin in its current state may not be good enough to buy everyday products, and that it's too volatile to be a currency, its very existence is a guarantee that the currency will not be a government monopoly and will be an insurance policy against the Orwellian future. Next, I'm going to talk about some individual coins. I'm going to pull up some graphs and let's just get right into it. So, first up, let's talk about Bitcoin. The January correction is on its way. The price set lower lows. Since the previous market update, the price gets supported in the $10,000 area with leaks below. The psychological barrier of $10,000 seems to still be with us. If this level breaks, we'll see new lows. Right now, the resistance lies around 13,000. The way up is not simple at all due to another strong resistance at 17,000. Next, let's move to Ethereum. Against the dollar, we see a strong correction down after we touched 14,000 as the all-time high. The significant support lies around $800. The support was tested just a few days ago, and in the meantime, the prices climbed back to $1,000 level, and resistance is around $1,200. Against Bitcoin, past resistance zones are marked on the chart around the level of 0.083 Bitcoin, where support lies. Let you guys look at this chart for one more second. As next, we're going to move to Bitcoin Cash. Like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash also fell really bad against the dollar. The supports break down one by one, and the price reveals new planes. Bitcoin Cash still needs more time to recover. Against the Bitcoin, there is a stable price level, where it's traded recently around 0.15 Bitcoin with fluctuations of 3% up and down. Boring, but steady. Sometimes boring is positive in trading. Next, let's talk about Augur. Against the dollar, since last month, Augur had impressive gains. The price broke up the resistance around $50 and continued to soar to $134. After that, it dropped hard and support was around $60 with small leaks back to the $50 areas where there are demands. Significant resistance lies at $110. Against the Bitcoin, the price rises laterally. The graph looks positive. Resistance level around 0.0085 Bitcoin and support lies around 0.006 Bitcoin. That is all the news that I have today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see the full report, we have everything that I just said written on our website. Check it out, cryptopotato.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks.